What's up, everyone? Welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, insane people, and all that kind of stuff. And as usual, we'll be checking out some more Reddit posts today. So be sure to share your thoughts about today's stories down in the comments, and we're getting right into it. Fired for being fat. OP posted this in r/legal advice. Backstory. I am a woman in my 30s and very overweight. Not to the point of handicap, but I'm a big gal. I work at a company with around 25 employees and have been here for 8 years. Recently, the business was sold to a larger corporation, who sent their own people in for management roles after laying off our entire management team, consisting of 4 people. I work with clients in the field, and have a good work record, and my clients like me, and I have built relationships with them. Turn to today. I get called into the office of one of the new managers, who tells me my appearance isn't a good fit for a client-facing role, and I can either take a pay cut and work in the call center or take unpaid leave and come back after I've lost a, quote, considerable amount of weight. I was floored. I've never had a client have an issue with my weight, at least outwardly, and I'm good at my job. I meet all productivity goals and have never even received a write-up in my 8 years. I pushed and asked him if there had been any complaints, to which he said no, but they want to head off any future issues which may arise. I said straight up, "So you're punishing me because I'm fat? Are you also demoting obese male coworker in same role as me?" He said no, and didn't answer when I asked why the situation was different. I left fuming and told him I was going home for the rest of the day to think about things. Can this really be legal? What recourse do I have? Update. I spoke with the law office my sister recommended this morning, and I have been asked to no longer post online about the situation. Sorry for such a non-satisfying update. Next update. I posted this 2 weeks ago and a lot has happened. Something happened before I could go any further with the lawyer I spoke to. The Monday following the incident, I was asked to come speak with a VP of HR I'd never met and only knew by name, because they worked directly for the company that bought ours out. When I walked in the conference room, there were 4 people waiting for me, 2 of which I was told was part of legal. What I didn't realize is my friend who I mentioned in the comments of the other post ended up saying something to another coworker because he was so horrified at the situation, even though I told him to keep it secret. This information ended up making its way up the chain and was not taken well, to say the least. I was asked to explain exactly what happened, who I told, and asked a lot of questions. Everything I said seemed to make them very uncomfortable, especially when I told them I was in touch with the lawyer. They had me leave the room for nearly 40 minutes and then called me back in and let me know they were very concerned about the situation and assured me it was an isolated power trip, basically. This is the holy shit part. They say that due to my long tenure in my position, knowledge of how the team works, and my relationship with clients, that they felt I would be a good fit for the position the jerk manager sat in, and if I wanted the position, it was mine as their way of saying sorry. They also made sure to mention the large salary increase and bonuses this would come with. I took a couple minutes to think about it and took the offer. By the way, I'm not stupid. I know they did this so I wouldn't take any legal action against them, but I love my job and don't blame them for the actions of a 20-something on a power trip. I also know it came down to a he said, she said, and would have been a hard case to prove. There's going to be a company-wide training on gender and interpersonal relations, and I finally have an office with a door I can actually close. I'm in the field a lot less now, so I guess the jerk got what he wanted, because now I don't interact face-to-face nearly as much as I used to. Edit for clarification. He was fired, not demoted or transferred. Parked like an entitled jerk, so I ruined his yoga session. My city has charge ports for electric cars in public lots. I can't install a charger for my car at my apartment building, so I rely on these public chargers for a hybrid car. When the program started, the parking spots had signs that read, "Electric vehicles only," because if a gas-powered car takes the spot, the charger can't be used as the cords don't go any further. Most cars blocking the spots could be reported to the police for towing. But certain entitled drivers of electric cars decide that these are their own personal parking spots. They wouldn't actually plug in to charge. They didn't need the free electricity. They just think their car being electric is giving them the equivalent of a handicap placard for a nicer spot. There is no towing them since they obeyed the sign. Their car is electric. And it's always a Tesla. One morning, I was driving up to a set of the charge ports because my app said one was free. While waiting at the nearby red light, I could see the spot was just taken and the driver was walking away. He wasn't charging his Tesla and I wouldn't be able to charge. I had no actual recourse to get the guy a ticket or towed like I could with the gas-powered car. So I waited about 20 minutes. Then I called the yoga studio he had walked into, right around the point when I figured his session had safely been going for a little while. I said to the woman picking up, "A person in your class drives a black Tesla, plates blank. There's a tow truck about to hitch up the car for blocking a charging spot. You should really let them know immediately." She was immensely grateful, like I'd just done this huge jerk a favor. Shortly after, he came barreling out of the studio and around the corner to save his car. It was obviously fine. I took pride in knowing I'd not only thrown off his yoga session, but that he was also responsible for interrupting the class for everyone else and that they would all silently judge him. I mean, who wants the license plate of a bad driver read out during yoga? Sometimes when I need a pick-me-up, I like thinking about how he went back to do yoga, fuming that someone was screwing with them. Since then, the city realized these drivers ruin things for everyone, and replaced all the signs to say, "Electric vehicles only while charging." It's not the same joy as ruining yoga, but now I can just call the cops and get them ticketed for my petty revenge. Which I do every single time. Entitled brats. That's not your baby, is it? This happened when my son was about 3 months old. I'm Filipino, my husband is white, and our son looks almost exactly like my husband's mini-me. Pale skin, light hair, blue eyes. You wouldn't know I carried him for 9 months and birthed him. One afternoon, I was pushing the stroller through Target when a random older woman came up and said, "Oh wow, what a beautiful baby. Is he adopted?" I smiled and said, "Nope, I actually stole him. His real mom is in aisle 6. The woman's face went sheet white. She didn't laugh, she didn't blink. She just backed away like I was about to pull a ski mask over my head. I just kept pushing the stroller, humming like nothing happened. Never saw her again. My husband unknowingly took photo of the thief as I got mugged. See comment section for the photos. Edit, I got pickpocketed, not mugged. This is from 2022 Pride Parade in New York City. My husband was taking random photos of me as I said hi to a friend walking in the parade. Then I noticed my phone was missing. We decided to take a look at the photos to see if it was in my back pocket, and if/where I potentially have dropped it. We were shocked to see that a woman actually went inside my purse as she covered her hand with the flag. And here you can see the photo actually caught the exact moment the woman was reaching into OP's purse, keeping a flag over her hand to hide what she's doing. In this other photo too, you can kind of tell she was getting ready to do it or had already done it. Moving on, OP says, "Then we decided to walk up and down the parade. We were 6 people, so we split up, and we spotted her a couple blocks down. We informed the police. Thankfully, a lot of them happened to patrol the parade at every corner, showed them the photos, and told them that we know where she is. They were shocked too. She unfortunately didn't have my phone on her, but they interrogated her for about an hour for her to eventually call the person who has my phone so that I don't press charges. The person she called said that they have dropped the phone at the northeast corner of 14th Street and 6th Avenue. The police went to collect it and brought it to me. However, it was the same make and model as my phone, but it wasn't my phone. So she got arrested. Long story short, I got to rescue another person's phone. I don't think they'd believe if they hear how police got a hold of their phone. See comment section for the photos." And yeah, there's the thief getting arrested after all this. Man, what are the chances though? To be taking pictures and you just happen to catch the exact moment that a pickpocket had their hand in someone else's purse. Revenge on the asshole Mercedes driver. Several years ago, I used to work for a certain state's IT Department of Transportation program. Basically, my team and I were responsible for installing and maintaining cameras and the like. I was at a site with one of my guys on the highway near an exit. We set up our traffic cones and signs, the standard OSHA requirements. We're out there for about 30 minutes. So far, no issues, business as usual. We wrap up our business, and while my coworker is putting the tools away and strapping down the bucket truck, I go to collect our signs and cones. I get to the end and grab the last cone in the line, and that's when this shithead in a black Mercedes pulls up around the bend. He looks at me and gets this shit-eating grin, and swerves towards me only to pull away at the last second, laughing his ass off. At this point, I was seeing red. I run back to the bucket truck and jump in the bucket to get a good vantage point of the exit. I see the Mercedes on the exit pull-off and park at a nearby super target. I make a note of where he parked and finish wrapping up the truck. My coworker can see I am visibly upset and asked what happened. I told him, and him knowing me said, "Don't do anything that will get us fired." I look him in the eye and as innocently as I can say, "It'll be perfectly legal." We drive off to the super target parking lot and find the Mercedes, and sure enough he is parked taking up 4 parking spots. I take these super heavy-duty zip ties and tie 4 shopping carts to his car, 1 for each door, not tight enough where they are actually touching the car, but enough where it will be difficult to break them. I only wish I could have stuck around to see his reaction. Anyway guys, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button, and also if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more Reddit content like this. So I'm out of here, take care friends, and I'll see you next time.